Seattle Seahawks have finished their final practice here at the VMAC in Renton. Up next for them is the Detroit Lions. As we speak, the Seahawks are on their way to the airport to board the plane for an all-important game against, as I said, the Detroit Lions on Sunday. Quick notes before we get to the B-roll and Pete Carroll, and then Pete Carroll's post-practice interview. Stone Forsythe will start at left tackle and Jake Curhan at the right tackle. Devon Witherspoon will make his regular season debut, and Jamal Adams will not make the trip. And so with those quick notes, let's get to the B-roll, hear from Pete Carroll, and give you the latest injury report.
Go as well, tackle. Jake played against these guys last time we were there, did a nice job, and Stone's ready to go too. So, really we're impressed with the new guys that we brought in, and we'll see how that works out. But that'll give us a good boost. But I'm glad these guys are going to answer the call. They know what they're doing.
Is Abe Lucas going to have something done, or is he?
Yes. Yeah, he's having a procedure done that we've done with a couple other guys that's worked out really well. It takes a little bit of time. We got to see how it goes with him. This guy's different, but we're going to try to fix him up. Some of our guys, it's something we've done a lot over the years and really liked, and so we're introducing that to a number of players, and so we'll see if we can max that out, take full advantage of it. It's always been good for us. We had a really good week getting back on track like we needed to, and we had something to overcome, and we did. And so now we go into a really, like I've talked about earlier in the week, a really tough environment and a tough team. The team is ready to go and ready to explode. We're going to have to take all that on and get through that and put together a great football game to get a win.
Some players have talked this week about the speech Bobby gave before practice was just kind of helping them turn the page. Just what have you seen out of Bobby in that? What leadership regard? What he did?
It was about as well captured a moment as you can get. He did exactly what was necessary at the time, and they responded to the letter on what he was calling on. And we had a really good Wednesday, and the week has followed right in fashion that we're accustomed to. Guys really working hard, working together, focused, and concentrating on getting the game plan in order. This morning, just so that you can have your own real good stuff. We'll get another little highlight reel from today. Ace Holland brought all over the field. He's having fun, unencumbered, bursting, sprinting, changing direction. Wrapping guys up on this when he's hitting guys. The whole thing, the blast. He's been waiting so long to get to this point. He was active, aggressive in his coverage, fits, and all that stuff. He did everything. And he had a really good week in that regard. He had a lot of chances to do stuff. Coaches scripted well, so to get him ready to go. So it's going to be really fun to get him. We're going to go with game day and give him all the rest we can possibly give. We practiced yesterday. We ran around pretty well and all that. But we just want to make sure we give him every chance to get clear from the little bit of swelling that he had and see if he can do it. We'll find out.
Okay, so there you have it, and the obvious keys to the game here, front and center is going to be, I should say, left and right, as in terms of the two tackles, Curhan and Forsythe. How will they handle Detroit's Aiden Hutchinson, a 2022 number 2 overall pick by the Lions, and last game against the Chiefs, he had 7 hurries. And he was in the backfield quite a lot. He didn't get to Mahomes, but he put pressure on there. So how those two tackles, along with Evan Brown and obviously the rest of the offensive line, they're going to have to block well. Pete Carroll said in the post practice interview, blocking is going to be key, not just by, the interior linemen, but the tight ends and the running backs. And then number two, Seahawks have to establish the run. Ken Walker has to kind of get some type of rhythm. I mean, he did last game, first half, 9 carries, 53 yards, but of course he only got 11 in the second half. Seahawks have to run the ball. By running the ball, they can then go to play action. That'll enable quarterback Geno Smith to have some time, freeze the corners, freeze the linebackers, and obviously that'll open up the pass game, which they need. They got to get the ball to Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. We know that. Last game, second half, dismal. So this game, the Seahawks are going to have to be balanced. But to start that, they have to establish the run. And then lastly, where will Witherspoon play? Will he play in the slot or will he play out there on the left cornerback? Well, we saw him play in the slot during training camp. And then I think they'll move him around. As you saw last week, the Seahawks went to a nickel and dime package in terms of their their defensive backfield. They had Trey Brown in there, Kobe Bryant, Reek Woolen, and you're adding those obviously to Quandre Diggs, and so the Seahawks are gonna have to play good, solid defense. I'd also say, I'm talking about the cornerbacks here, but they're gonna have to put pressure. They gotta get to Goff. I mean, he's a quarterback that's in rhythm, and all week the Seahawks have talked about we have to make him feel uncomfortable. So, from the VMAC in Renton, I'm Osvita Mare.